Please say hello to Paul Dano. What's up, man? What's up, man?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you got a little bit of mobility there.
I tore my ACL playing basketball.
Do you need to rest it? Do you need to elevate it? Or are you okay?
Straight out like this is how it is. This stylish look too.
I think for a second you walked in and I thought it was just your b-boy lean, man. That's what I your b-boy lean.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Well, if you're your age, you would have been 11, 12, 13, 14 when the Knicks were just bruisers and you're in the Mason, Starks, Ewing kind of run, right?
Yeah.
Did you identify with those guys?
That's when I lived in Manhattan. I grew up in Manhattan. I wanted to be in the NBA is what I really wanted, you know. So luckily I found acting, you know. I was really, because that wasn't going to happen. When I wanted to be in the NBA too, you know, I'm like 6'1", 6'2" now, but I grew my senior year of high school, so I was really short up until then. And I was in middle school, really short, wore glasses, and wore like basketball jerseys and wanted to be in the NBA.
Dude, you look just like Sam Cassell. He was in the NBA looking like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Muggsy was, you know.
Tyrone Muggsy Bogues. Dude, look at the stuff you've been in. If someone were to ever write a book about you, it could be called Paul Dano and the Men Who've Beaten Me Up either physically or emotionally.
I know.
There's nothing about your filmography really. I mean, there's some, but most of it is harrowing.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I'm hoping, you know, now in my late 20s, that's going to turn. I'm going to start delivering the beatings soon, you know.
Prisoners, man, is an interesting film. It's a good film. Denis Villeneuve, wonderful Canadian director.
Yeah.
You get and it's not spoiling it, because everybody knows from the beginning it's coming.
Yeah.
You get smoked in this.
My scenes that I get beaten by Hugh Jackman, and I'm tied to a radiator in a bathroom on the ground, and in walks Hugh Jackman with, you know, something wrapped around his hand to punch me, and Hugh's like 6'4". He's an imposing man. I mean, being on the floor, looking up at him walking into a room, you don't have to do much acting, you know, which is great. Makes my job a lot easier. Luckily, he's like the sweetest man in the world. And he's a good actor, and Denis, the director, is a lovely guy, and we'd talked about the scenes. We're all there for the same reason. We want to leave it out on the floor because those scenes need to impact the audience and help tell the story. So in a weird way, the safety and trust that we had allows us to make it more dangerous. So there's a scene in there where Hugh takes a hammer and smashes it right next to my head through the wall, and that wasn't planned. Like, he breaks something else, but then in one take, he just put it right next to my head through the wall, and then I fainted. I mean, my character, I pretended to faint, you know. I mean, that was my gut reaction of what somebody would do.
Do you, after spending time in Canada, do you think that Brad Pitt nailed Canadian? As a Canadian in 12 Years a Slave?
You know, I don't know. I think we needed, you know, how many boots were in the were in the scene?
Yeah, I don't remember. How many boots? I don't know if we were saying a boot back then.
Okay, yeah.
I think we were still old country.
1842. Yeah.
What was your experience like on that film?
On 12 Years a Slave. Oof. It was a really good group. I think the story is unbelievable. Again, not just some great actors, but a really wonderful filmmaker, Steve McQueen. And that's one that, you know, the subject matter is really difficult. I play sort of a bad character in a film about slavery. It's not what you dream to do, but you playing a bad character and hopefully being a part of telling a good story.
How did you handle the fame that came after Little Miss Sunshine?
Getting recognized for the first few times was hard. It was very strange. And then after There Will Be Blood, I started going places and people would send me milkshakes to my table, you know, and I'm lactose intolerant. And so I can never drink them. And I always feel so bad because the person spent, you know, $3 or $5 or whatever a milkshake costs. And I go, you know, thank you.
Hey, you got to work with De Niro.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal for somebody, especially because I heard you like Taxi Driver. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
But
yeah.
And he was a nasty guy to you in this film in a way.
Yeah, but you know what? He's a sweetie in real life. I mean, you watch Raging Bull and then meeting him. I actually, the first time I met him, I went to his apartment and he opened the door in a bathrobe and just gave me a big, I mean, he's got one of the best hugs that I've had. I mean, a big,
like it violates
hug.
a workplace rule thing, though. Hey, I'm going to meet you in a robe and hug you. If I did that, there would be a court case.
Yeah. I think, I think he was heading towards the film.
Yeah.
The character that he played. The first time that I meet him in that film, I believe that he stands up out of a bathtub naked. Yeah. So thank God he just kept the bathrobe on
A real pleasure, man.
Likewise.
Great to see you.
All right.
Paul Dano, everybody.